What is up, everybody? Welcome back. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you're watching this from. We're back with another PVU video, and this time it should be a little more positive. We do have a sneak peek of the Farm 3.0 update, and we have a Q&A from the developers. I picked out a couple questions and answers that they gave us. I didn't really love some of them, but we'll detail all that once we get to the video. If it's your first time here and you want to subscribe, I'll be going through tutorials, through analysis, everything on NFT games, and later on some NFT art as well. I come from a gaming background as well as an economics degree that I got from college, so it should be a good mix of everything there. And let's hop right into the video. I'll see you after the intro. All right, guys, now it's actually time to dive into Farm 3.0. The sneak peek is here, and on top of that, we have a Q&A, AMA, whatever you prefer to call it, with the developers of the game, where they give us a lot more information than the sneak peek does. But there are a couple of answers that do worry me quite a bit for the future of the game. But let's leave that till the end. I'll go into detail on all that. I want to first focus on the positives. We finally have positives to talk about for PVU. It's been a couple of rough weeks, I'm not gonna lie, but when I'm reading this sneak peek, I really am getting excited about the game, and I might even dive back into the project itself. I'll let you guys form your own opinions. Obviously, this is not financial advice at all. This is just my knowledge, my opinion, and my analysis on everything. But let's not wait any longer and let's get straight to it. So here we are. Dear PVUers, I think we should have gone with Dear PV Users. I feel like it's a better unity of everything, but I'll take that up with the person that wrote this later on. I'll give them some of my ideas as well. And that's not really important because that's not what this video is about. We are going to get into every new feature that this brings. And the first sentence basically tells us we have a whole new game, or better yet, we actually have a game now. It says Farm 3.0 is a full-fledged farming simulator game that allows you to grow crops, raise the undead, and sell your goods for profit. Up until this point, PVU was not actually a game. You went in there, you pressed the little virtual water symbol, you watered some plants, and if you had a crow, you just pressed the scarecrow, and that was about it. You couldn't actually spend time, you couldn't actually do anything really fun either. And now it seems like we're finally getting the game. My grandmother can no longer play PVU for me. She can no longer collect the LE and water the plants. Now it's time for me to actually do something. And it seems like we're not only going to be able to raise the undead, but we're going to be able to raise our own crops. So on top of the plants, we'll have crops and we'll have undead. And if we continue to read a little bit in that paragraph, there's a hidden key piece of information here where it says at the end, once you've done all the harvest and the undead, the only thing left to do now is sell all of your produce at the market so you can earn income in the form of PVU or LE. Why is that key? Because it finally seems like LE will have a function in this game. Before now, all you really needed to do was buy water and crows with the LE. But if people are selling for possibly LE, that means that's going to play a bigger role, and that's good in the long-term economics of the game, in the sense that every time you have LE, you're just not going to sell it on the short term and convert it over to PVU, then to Binance and put it in your pocket. So now we have a little bit more uses. And in the second paragraph, however, farming is not the only activity in the game. You can raise undead pets to help around the farm with tasks like harvesting, defending your goods from your crows, or watering your plants. Basically, what I gather from this, the pets took my grandmother's job. But no, on a serious note, this is also really good because sometimes you're sleeping, a crow pops up, your production stops, and then you have to wait an extra couple of hours. Now the fact that you can raise these pets and they do that for you allows you more freedom to not only not have to log in every day, but possibly spend your time on other projects, researching a little bit more. I really like that they're adding this. And if we keep reading, fishing, gathering, and mining are also added. We have a full-on game. Do I know what fishing is going to be for? Absolutely not. Do I know what mining is going to be for? Absolutely not. but now we actually have different tasks to do. Maybe they're going to provide more sources of LE, PVU. We'll have to find out, but I really do like the fact that they are adding these activities. They call them, these activities will provide materials to craft items, fish to sell. And I guess I should have read that right before because I said I have no idea. But the fish to sell will probably be for PVU or LE and help you upgrade your farm to provide an even higher income. That's good. That's all good right now. I'm not too focused on the ROI. And that's what I think they need to focus on. Why are you focusing on a higher income when the biggest problem of the game is inflation? I don't really love that part, but I do like the fact that we're getting materials and fish. That is two new elements of the game, and the fact that you can actually upgrade your farm. Before this, you either spent $20,000 on buying a land with 20 plants, or you were basically stuck with the same land everyone else gets for free. Seems like now the more you play, the more materials and all of that you get, the better your farm can actually be. And then we go into the next one. Most importantly, all materials and LE gained can be used in PvE mode. We're getting a PvE mode. Most people thought Farm 3.0 was going to bring PvE, but until it was confirmed, we couldn't really get into that, where you'll strategically build a team for your plants to battle the undead. This will be your most reliable method to gain PVU. The more undead you slay, the more PVU you will get. Thank you, first off, for writing this in that way and not saying the higher income, because now you're encouraging people to use the PVU in the game. Maybe we'll be able to get better plants. Different plants will be better against the PvE. We'll have to see how all that plays out, but that adds even another element in this. I absolutely love everything, and this is something so key that I think a lot of people missed because of all the features early on. When I was reading the Discord, I was reading a little bit what everyone's thoughts were. Everyone was really excited about the PvE, the fishing, but to me, this is just as important as anything else. The game features an isometric view, and players will be able to customize their farm to their liking, creating a truly unique experience for each player. Why do I love this? Because now you can tailor your farm not only to your budget, but to your preferences, right? If you weren't able to afford a metal plant early on, maybe you can tailor your farm to actually be better for light plants or dark plants that are cheaper than those metal plants. I think this is key in giving the game a little bit of freedom to roam on all the players, catering to all the budgets, and making sure everyone has their own little unique take instead of everyone really having the same exact thing. Like I said earlier, you either had a 20, 25, or 30 plant land for a lot of money, or everyone has the same exact thing. So I absolutely love that. This goes into a little bit more what they already talked about. There's always something new growing on your farm. I think this paragraph could have gone without it, but overall, this is the biggest update PVU has ever seen. And it comes in the perfect time. Obviously, they said mid-October. NFT terms, that usually means in early November, mid-November. Especially, we have seen PVU miss some deadlines, push back some stuff. But I'm okay with that. As long as the servers can hold it, and as long as the update is good, there is no real rush. We just went through the worst possible 3 weeks or 2 weeks with PVU. So it can't get any worse while we're waiting. Take your time. Make sure the game is perfect. But now that we're done with the positive, we have to get into a little bit of the negative. I'm going to bring up here the Q&A that they had on their Discord. I have a couple of different answers from them that do worry me a little bit. And it's actually worrying me even more, the fact that more people weren't on this post. This post should be the absolute biggest deal for everyone, right? Let's start off with the questions. Is the weekly 10% increase in LE PVU capped? That is a good question. And on top of that, it says, what will the rental of plants be like? Once update 3.0 is out, the entire mechanic will be replaced. Good part of this is that we no longer want to see that 10% increase. I think they should have just made it a constant amount. Make the change however big you need to make it. I know it'll hurt a lot for the game, but the fact that maybe even that LE to PVU conversion is completely gone and now there's a new mechanic, I like that. Good. Get away from it. That means they understood the fact that it was not a good mechanic. That 10% increase was going to drive everyone out of the game. But here's the part that worries me. Rental was in our plan from the beginning. However, just like many removed features, I guess they meant features. Rental will require a lot of resources. First off, not buying it. I think they just don't want to do that in the game. Resources, you should have plenty. You withdrew, I don't even know how many millions of dollars from PVU the other week. But even more worrying, instead of rental, we prefer lowering the entry barrier for new players. Why does this worry me? This worries me because you already had such massive inflation due to the free plans that you gave, that all the people that were in the game for free decided to sell whatever they got. And now you're lowering the entry barrier even more after knowing that you just suffered from this, right? I'm not too sure if lowering the entry barrier is all that beneficial to the game. It makes a lot more sense when the ecosystem is renting out or giving the scholarships, kind of like Axie does, instead of lowering the barrier, because the lower the barrier, the more people will just get out as soon as they get enough income or they reach their goals. They're not going to reinvest. You want to get all that money out because you want to keep getting into different types of NFT projects. So I think they should have basically that a lot of resource type of thing. They probably should have capitalized on that. Take another month if you need to. Make sure the ecosystem, the economy of the game, and all of that is in a perfect spot. That was your downfall early on. And now the second answer that worries me the most is actually piggybacking on that. Let me go ahead and find it really quickly. I think it's the second to last. Here we go. How did devs solve the inflation problem? You guys can read all of this a little bit more. And this answer is the absolute most worrying answer in the whole Q&A. There are some very good points, but we already went through Farm 3.0, and I don't want to keep touching on that. When I read this for the first time, my heart sank a little bit, and they basically just said, when we implemented the world tree, we have already accounted for this situation. Just know that by selling more plants on the marketplace, the chance for both new and old players to obtain good NFT for cheaper price in preparation for PvP is higher. When PvP mode comes out, people who sell their plants will simply lag behind and won't reap any benefits from PvP mode. As of right now, there is no plan for this. PvP and farm modes are separate games. They're separate games, but you're replicating all the plants. That's not the biggest issue. The fact that they just admitted that they knew the world tree would cause this inflation and did it anyway, I don't know if I want my money in their hands. I'm going to be very honest with you guys. Up until I read this, I was ready to pull the trigger. I was ready to go in there and I was going to get a set of 5 plants, 10 plants, whatever it is. Take advantage of the replicating the plants. They're going to go over into the PvP. I'll have them in the PvE as well. But the fact that they just said that this was all just so people could get cheaper NFTs, that is not how you do economics. That is possibly the worst answer they could have given to this. And before you decide to get in or get out of the game, I do think you guys should all really consider this. Read it all through. But when we talked about it in the last video, the world tree being the downfall of the game, and then them coming out here and admitting that they knew it was going to happen and did it anyway just so more people can buy cheaper plants, not okay with me. Doesn't sit all that right. But that's going to wrap it up for the video today. I do encourage you guys, because they also do have a lot of other things here. They have 3 new games coming out. I can do a video on that. Leave in the comments if you want me to do that. We'll do a good old little outro on my final decision on whether I'm joining or not right now, though. After all the big news, the Farm 3.0, all of that good stuff, right? There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to think about. But here's my decision. I have already decided that I will be getting into PVU again, but not with a lot of trust in them. I do believe Farm 3.0 will cause a good rise in everything, but I need to see the usage they give to all the plants. They talk a little bit about durability of the plants, which means that they will die out and you will have to purchase more, which is overall good news because it keeps the economy flowing. It keeps the money inside the game, not everyone just taking it out. But I am very, very cautious. I'm mainly getting in right now because plants for metal floor are about 30 when they used to be 120. Light you can get for around 20 as well. PVU is still down. So the investment is very, very low on my end, to the point where I'm willing to take the risk just based on the fact that I get all my plants replicated. I'll have 10 plants if I bought 5, and I think that's worth it already. My opinion, or I guess suggestion to you guys, is be careful. If you're planning on joining, measure your risk. This is still a high risk project in my eyes. You talked to me a month ago before all of this World Tree stuff, and I would have told you to go all in, right? Well, not all in, never go all in on anything, but to go in as much as you can and want to. Right now, with the dev decisions, some of these answers, it's still a little bit risky. But let me know in the comments what you plan on doing. Are you staying in? Are you selling? Are you buying in? How much are you buying in? And if you want me to do more videos like this covering PVU as well, and I appreciate everyone being here. If you enjoyed the video, please just leave a like, subscribe. The next one should be out. We're going to do an Overlord tutorial, how to get into the game, the best strategy to make the most amount of money. And we'll do a little bit on the NFT art as well when it comes down to how to trade your NFTs without getting scammed, all that good stuff. I will have, I think, 2 or 3 more videos out this week for you guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.